Let's go. We got bowling, baby. We got, we got Dreamer, baby. Bowling's, kind of sitting on the floorboard there. We got Sun Bear, baby. We got Dragon T, baby. Risen. Nobody cares about it.
This doesn't get a baby.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes!
DeFi Kingdoms, baby. DeFi Kingdoms for beginners. Do you not know anything about crypto? I got you. DeFi, decentralized finance. You got kids, you got a wife. DeFi Kingdoms, billions of dollars with Hero. Yes, baby, why? Amazing. GQ bot, he does. Yes. Even though there's no right or wrong way. Wonder where I'm at? Yes. Once upon a time, in the not too distant past. Baby, yes.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! Overboard there. Baby! Yes! It's gonna say Let's go. We got bowling, baby. We got, we got Dreamer, baby. Bowling's, kind of sitting on the floorboard there. We got Sun Bear, baby. We got Dragon T, baby. Risen. Nobody cares about it.
This doesn't get a baby.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes!
DeFi Kingdoms, baby. DeFi Kingdoms for beginners. Do you not know anything about crypto? I got you. DeFi, decentralized finance. You got kids, you got a wife. DeFi Kingdoms, billions of dollars with Hero. Yes, baby, why? Amazing. GQ bot, he does. Yes. Even though there's no right or wrong way. Wonder where I'm at? Yes. Once upon a time, in the not too distant past. Baby, yes.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! Overboard there. Baby! Yes! It's gonna say Let's go. We got bowling, baby. We got, we got Dreamer, baby. Bowling's, kind of sitting on the floorboard there. We got Sun bear, baby. We got dragon, tea, baby. Risen. Nobody cares about that.
Crystal's get a baby. Crystal doesn't get a baby.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes!
DeFi Kingdoms, baby. DeFi Kingdoms for beginners. Do you not know anything about crypto? I got you. DeFi, decentralized finance. You got kids, you got a wife. DeFi Kingdoms, billions of dollars with Hero. Yes, baby, why? Amazing. GQI, he does. Yes. Even though there's no right or wrong way. Wonder where I'm at? Yes. Once upon a time, in the not too distant past. Baby. Yes.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! It's gonna say Let's go! We got bowling, baby! We got Dreamer, baby! Bowling's, kind of sitting on the floorboard there. We got Sun Bear, baby! We got Dragon Tea, baby! Risen. Nobody cares about that.
Crystal doesn't get a baby.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes!
DeFi Kingdoms, baby. DeFi Kingdoms for beginners. Do you not know anything about crypto? I got you. DeFi, decentralized finance. You got kids, you got a wife. DeFi Kingdoms, billions of dollars with Hero. Yes, baby, why? Amazing. GQI, he does. Yes. Even though there's no right or wrong way. Wonder where I'm at? Yes. Once upon a time, in the not too distant past. Baby. Yes.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! It's gonna say Let's go! We got bowling, baby! We got Dreamer, baby! Bowling's, kind of sitting on the floorboard there. We got Sun Bear, baby! We got Dragon Tea, baby! Risen. Nobody cares about that.
Crystal doesn't get a baby.
Baby! Yes! I love you. Baby. Yes. Baby. Yes. I love you. Baby. Yes.
DeFi Kingdoms, baby. DeFi Kingdoms for beginners. Do you not know anything about crypto? I got you. DeFi, decentralized finance. You got kids, you got a wife. DeFi Kingdoms, billions of dollars with Hero. Yes, baby, why? Amazing. GQ bot, he does. Yes. You know there's no right or wrong way. Wonder where I'm at? Yes. Once upon a time, in the not too distant past. Baby, yes.
Baby. Yes. I love you. Baby. Yes. Baby. Yes. Baby. Yes. Let's go. We got bowling, baby. We got Dreamer, baby. Bowling's, kind of sitting on the floorboard there. We got Sun Bear, baby. We got Dragon T, baby. Risen. Nobody cares about that.
This doesn't get a baby.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes!
DeFi Kingdoms, baby. DeFi Kingdoms for beginners. Do you not know anything about crypto? I got you. DeFi, decentralized finance. You got kids, you got a wife. DeFi Kingdoms, billions of dollars with Hero. Yes, baby, why? Amazing. GQ bot, he does. Yes. You know there's no right or wrong way. Wonder where I'm at? Yes. Once upon a time, in the not too distant past. Baby. Yes.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! Let's go. We got bowling, baby. We got Dreamer, baby. Bowling's, kind of sitting on the floorboard there. We got Sun Bear, baby. We got Dragon T, baby. Risen. Nobody cares about that.
This doesn't get a baby.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! I love you!
DeFi Kingdoms for beginners. Do you not know anything about crypto? I got you. DeFi, decentralized finance. You got kids, you got a wife. DeFi Kingdoms, billions of dollars with Hero. Yes, baby, why? Amazing. GQ bot, he does. Yes. Even though there's no right or wrong way. Wonder where I'm at? Yes. Once upon a time, in the not too distant past. Baby. Yes.
Baby! Yes! I love you! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! Baby! Yes! Baby! We got Stronghold in the house, who's got all kinds of things going. Look at all these different things he's got going. He's updating his website, the website that is the go-to, especially for beginners, for DeFi Kingdoms. He's always been the go-to. He's grinding. Has he gotten paid for doing any of this? Nope. He's just a servant of the community of DeFi Kingdoms. Guess what else he's doing? All right, let me present my screen here. Yes. Okay, this man, he's grinding on the website. He's also hired guys like Wowie in the house. Absolute legend of DeFi Kingdoms. I love him. Got to get him back on the channel. He also hired Purple Onion. What's going on there? I love this guy. Let's give a shout out to Stronghold. What is going on, my man?
Hello there. Yes. First of all, apologies for my incredibly poor, I was going to say punctuation. That's definitely the wrong word. Punctuality this evening. Unfortunately, my child isn't particularly well, and despite me telling her that I had somewhere very important to be at 9 o'clock this evening, she didn't suddenly become unwell and allow me to do that. And just when I thought, you know what, that's it, she's fine, she's settled, I'm going downstairs, I'm going to get straight on and get involved in this stream, my computer says, no, you're not. And went through a full reboot process. So sincerest apologies to you and to anyone else that I've dragged this out. Yes, I'm very excited about the team the team that's coming together now. And I know you say that I've hired these people, and I think that it would be fair to say that we're all getting an even split of all the money that I'm getting from DeFi Kingdoms to produce this website and the Discord. We're all getting, in fact, we're all getting 100% of zero. So it's it's pretty
100% of zero.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So it's I've recently found an awful lot more kind of energy to come at this again. I went through a bit of a couple of months there where everyone kind of goes through kind of highs and lows with crypto, and everyone has different reasons, and it's not always to do with kind of the project or how tokens are doing. It's a lot of it's kind of like behind the scenes stuff or things that aren't even really involved in crypto, but you sat there on the Discord and you think, if I tell that person on the internet that they're an idiot, they're not going to divorce me, whereas if I have that same conversation with my wife, she might. So risk management, it just sometimes people can come across a bit more negative than they'd otherwise mean to, but past all of that now, I've kind of come back at this with an awful lot more energy. I've got a lot going on, and I'm just really excited to be able to start contributing positively again, as the website has always done.
That's amazing. Okay, so what's going on? So you're making $0. You guys are all sharing the profits, baby. $0
Yes,
and 0 cents. Yes.
Yeah.
So what's going on with OX Wowie and Purple Onion? What's going on there? What's your vision down the road? What do you guys have going here?
So the website for a while, as I was kind of going through phases of kind of what I was most invested in regards to DeFi Kingdoms, for a long time it was the guild. I felt kind of that's where I put my energies. That's where I kind of, and so the website was very heavily associated with the Perilous Pirates Guild, because that's where my love was. That's where I was at in my life, and I felt that they were giving me a lot of really good advice. There's some really smart people that are smarter than me, and I don't mind holding my hands up and say, yeah, they are intelligent people, and more so than me. And so they were really helping me kind of contribute to the website and kind of helping me kind of get certain technical things right. Because, for instance, I've never been much of a summoner. I don't summon an awful lot of heroes, but you get there's some absolute degens in the pirates, and not because they're just kind of haphazardly kind of button mashing over the portal. It's they genuinely know what they're doing. So learning from them and being able to put that kind of wisdom into the website, and not all of that's live yet, but it certainly helped. But the thing of guilds are a funny thing. They're a bit they can be a bit of a double-edged sword at times, because on the one hand, you know, people kind of they choose their associations. Not everybody's just going to hang out in DFK Gen chat their entire lives. People can like make friends and make acquaintances. They have people they get on with better than others, and people go their separate ways and kind of form smaller communities, and that's fine, because the energy that and kind of the closeness that these guilds and communities can provide people keeps them engaged. It keeps them interested. There can be some issues between guilds at times when certain instances of animosity can start for something small and then escalate and blow up, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, I don't like somebody because they're from that guild, and it's become so political. It's become very divisive, I think, at times.
Really? Okay. And I didn't even know that. I didn't know, but I know that's how things get.
It's not the prevailing mood of the Discord by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. It's just something that's kind of there that doesn't really get acknowledged, because most people look past it, most people overlook it and don't think anything of it. But I think it's important that rather than identify as somebody from a guild, people, you know, myself especially, start taking more ownership over what we do with ourselves and how we conduct ourselves and what information we choose to put out there. So, and I also realized that if I make the website about me and my experiences and, you know, my associations to the guild I was in, it would potentially alienate people who didn't maybe enjoy guilds notionally or specific guilds as much as others. And so rather than put that unintentional bias on the website, I felt it was better for everybody, that it could be more relatable to everyone. So taking the guild element away from that was important to me.
Okay.
It also really helped in approaching other people, such as Wowie and Purple Onion. Purple Onion, obviously, she was a dev. She's, you know, a fantastic artist. She's produced a bunch of infographics. She loves the community. She genuinely loves the community and the people in it. And just having that kind of that untamed generosity of spirit and kind of enthusiasm for others is something that I really felt would be a strong addition to the team, both in the kind of content we're adding to the website, but also the way that kind of we're presenting to others as well. So really, really keen to get, and plus, you know, she gets paid zero now as well, as it happens from DeFi Kingdoms. That was one of the what's the word I'm looking for? Was one of the factors that they had to change in order to keep the project going. The fact that she went through that and still gives everything and is still the beacon of hope that she is, for me, it's mind-blowing how somebody can be that continuously positive. So yeah, super psyched to bring her onto the team.
I love it. Yeah, keep going. Yeah. What are you guys doing? Yeah.
Well, Wowie came into the team as well. I didn't know much about Wowie before. I'd heard his name. I knew his reputation. I knew that he'd created a document, like a PvP document, his super insane mega spreadsheet thing. I'd heard of it. I had never seen the spreadsheet. I'd seen a couple of screenshots of it, but because I'd never got my head around PvP, even if I had looked at it a couple of months back or a month ago or even 3 weeks ago, I'd have stared at it and just gone cross-eyed and be like, this makes no sense to me, moving on to something else. I'm going back to porn. That's much easier. But in seeing some of the conversations he was having with others and actually being able to attend a couple of AMAs and a couple of the extra interviews and feeds that the Defi Kingdoms teams have put out lately, I started going to note his name come up more and more. And when I actually saw the spreadsheet that he put together, when I saw the depth and complexity of the information that he'd been able to contain in a single document, but also even just the way he's linking all his concepts together, he's effectively creating the PvP wiki on a spreadsheet. And I love that, and I love the passion that he has for that, and I love how much time he's committed not to understanding the game and to sharing that with others, which is 100% what I'm about. And he was genuinely, I said this to him.
Oh, uh-oh. Okay, he cut off right where he said, I said this to him, and then he said, or something like that. All right, man, we lost him. Device is not connected. His computer's giving him troubles. Okay, so this man, Stronghold, is just phenomenal. This website, it gives you almost everything you need to know about the game, about all, like, especially for beginners. Like, for example, here's the leveling up process. It's a quick guide on how it works. All, by the way, his Discord, his Twitter, and his website is all in the description below, in the actual description. I'm guessing he'll be coming back. No big deal. But I'm so curious. I'm guessing, okay, so it sounds like Purple Onion is going to be doing some of the artwork, right, for some of these infographics. Okay. And he's maybe going to somehow incorporate WowEase. Is this where he's going, guys? What do you think? Is he going to incorporate WowEase spreadsheet into the website and be like here he is WowE going to be the spreadsheet for PvP of your website? Is that where you're going with this?
Effectively, yeah. I was saying that I said to WowE, and we had a really good chat about what we were trying to achieve and why we were trying to achieve it. And I said to him that he's the first person who is approaching the communication of information in the same way that I am, in the same way that I'm trying to get everything all together, collated in one central location that people can kind of explore concepts, navigate through them themselves, and form their own understandings. Whereas we've got some great content for the project on various Medium pages, various YouTube pages, but everything kind of exists in isolation. And it's great if you know where to look. If you've got the map, fantastic. But most people don't have that map. Most people don't have a list of people that they can just quickly look up on YouTube. And even if they did, they wouldn't know what information that they were looking for. Right. So having that kind of interconnectivity that links, this is what that word means. This is where else you see that word. These are the implications of that word. That kind of wiki level detail that he was capturing in the in his spreadsheet was 100% what I was, which was is 100% what I would have tried to achieve if I'd ever got my head around PvP. So
brilliant.
Bringing it all together, saying, look, you know, it makes more sense to do it all in one space. It makes more sense to have everything in one central resource, and you know, come on board, join the team, have full access to do whatever you want with the with the website, build out PvP content in whatever way you like. You know, it's about kind of him being able to do his thing but do it on a web page instead that can then link to everything else I've got on the web page, like all the different equipment that will come out, all the pets and the pet bonuses that will come out. Everything will link together, so everything should be connected. So being able to put his kind of content on the EGGSPERT website will just be better for literally everyone. And so again, going from me trying to do everything I could to present all of the information to everyone, having to realize, you know, my own humanity a little bit, and kind of the futility of trying to do so much by myself, especially considering how quickly the dev team puts content out at times. It was unsustainable doing it by myself. So now that I've got WowE on board, phenomenal news for the website and for everybody else, that you know, that they get that kind of singular experience. Now that I've got WowE, Purple Onion on board as well, she's got that kind of connection to the people. She understands the community an awful lot better than basically everyone. It's about giving people the best experience they can have and allowing people to onboard a lot easier than they otherwise would do.
That, I love it. So I could envision like WowE having a little section up here, a drop down on the website, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. So combat is going to open up, and I think that kind of one of the things we've spoken about was having like a bit like a heroes page which is like very just top level. Here's all the different kinds of heroes that you could have, and then it links to them and it links to all their stats and all their class information, and then the skill codices that coming out of Wisdom Gaming at the moment, and just having all of that there, but then still being able to link to everything else. And I know that I'll tell you what, genuinely, I watched one of your videos for the first time. You've got a lot of videos, and I catch some of them, but I don't have time to watch all of everybody's videos. Much to my disappointment, because if I could choose how I'd spend my time, that is how I'd spend my time.
Yeah.
But I saw one today.
2x speed, right on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to speak at 2x speed to make up for the 10 minutes I missed, and then the 2 minutes that I just cut out for. But I caught in that video that you'd said specifically about the infographics. You said you loved the infographics, you loved all the information in them. You said it wasn't laid out very well. And I have to say, spot on. It was not laid out very well at all. I have tried to improve it a little bit. So the infographics drop down there now has subcategories where the infographics are actually
loot and questing.
Yeah, they've all got categories, and then you can still scroll down and scroll through them. But on that little reel there, you can also click on any one of the infographics, and it takes you to a page dedicated to that infographic, which allows you to bring it up full screen. But there's also a little explanation at the top as well, which says what the infographic is and why it matters. What information, so it's about how to use the infographic as much as just having the infographic.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm mega impressed with myself. I'm not being vain. It's just I tore down the old website. I just decided that I'd had enough of it. I was quite happy with the information I had on there, and I was keen to be able to present that information to the community. But I think I just looked at it. I was just going to sat one day and I was just looking at it thinking, this looks like shit. And at that point, I was like, well, I don't want to work on this website. Well, look at it, it's rubbish. And so, yeah, it was just like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like that old guy who just starts flipping papers and just kind of knocking his screen out of the way. And it was either I got to a point where I either just kind of gave up and let my frustrations get the better of me, or create something that I'm genuinely happy with, which is what I've kind of got with the website just now. My next priority for the website itself is to fix the blogging section of the website to allow for better categorization of blogs, more detail about the authors contributing the blogs, because what I would like to happen is, rather than everyone just writing on their own Medium posts or writing up articles here, there, and everywhere over the internet, I would like DFKchain to be good enough for people to want to write on the website, so that when people blog about DeFi Kingdoms, they do it on that website, so that it's in one place. You can link to anything. You're not having to, search the internet for all the answers. Everything's just right there. And I do need a bit of work before it's ready for that. I've put the word out there. I've had some interest already on people who would like to put their articles on the website, which is fantastic news. It's a really huge compliment and kind of an endorsement of what the website's become compared to what it was. So I just need to now make sure that I stay on top of things and deliver the kind of product that people will actually find useful.
Wow, this is brilliant. This is quite brilliant, my man. Oh, I love this. So this is like more and more just becoming the hub where everyone comes. And, I remember when you took your website down and there was like an outcry from the community.
I got so much abuse for that. It was just, I was like, I got a lot of abuse for that. It was like, it's all right, calm down. And the crazy thing is, I wasn't getting the abuse when I was thinking of walking away. I wasn't getting the abuse where I was like knocking paper around and kind of, throwing stuff out the window. I got the abuse where after the point where I was like, right, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it better. I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to make everyone's lives so much better for what I'm doing. And then so I took the other one down in order to start porting assets, and And they was like, "What are you doing?" I was like,
Yeah,
whoa,
right.
Hold on, just patience.
I remember About Life podcast was like, I can't function without Stronghold's website.
Yeah, I mean, I've made finding infographics a little bit easier as well, because in addition to the website, what I'm also doing is, because I'd like to start supporting more builders within the community, because I'd like to start acknowledging more projects that are going on.
Yeah.
I've set up a new Discord for the EGGSPERT project. I had a section set aside for expert content on the Perilous Pirates Guild Discord before. They were very accommodating and very supportive, and Wegu's made a fantastic bot for FAQs and infographics, and the idea was that I'd populate that with information, and that was going great, except again, it was on the Pirates Discord, and in order to remove the bias and encourage people to come on board and work more closely with it, I had to make it a non-guild entity. So I set the Discord up, started adding infographics and stuff to it. I found some cool new ways of presenting information on the Discord. I've got a bot now which I can create custom commands for. So I can effectively create an FAQ bot with what I've got if I ever get the time, and just say, and not just like, when pets or when, when green pets, which is one of the common questions of the hour. But just there are 500 custom commands that I can put into this bot, so I can basically create 500 answers for people on commonly asked questions. I can also, I'm quite excited at that, because there's a gentleman called I Know Kung Fu, and I've never challenged him on that. I've never said, do you know Kung Fu? I just assume that he does, and quite frankly, if he did, it's not something I'd actually want to say to him in person. But he's making a fantastic tool at the moment with DFK Combat, where we're based on the codist information that's come out already, based on all the information that Wisdom have released so far. He's put all of that into an engine that allows users to put various heroes in and see how, at the moment already, with even the little information that he's got, how those heroes could and should work together in order to complement each other and create a more effective team. And that kind of tool for the community, that kind of resource, is going to be massive. It's going to be so useful, especially for people like me who don't know what they're talking about when it comes to PvP.
Me too. Me too.
But it's just that there's people. That's just it. There's these people out there who know things that I don't, and rather than just say, "This is my website. This is what I know. Take it or leave it." It's like, well, hold on. There's more information to have. There's more experience. There's more perspectives, and people should be able to experience all of those things.
Right.
So to be able to give him a section on the EGGSPERT Discord where he gets to make his announcements and stuff, it means that people, again, they're not spreading out too far over the internet. They're kind of keeping conversations local as opposed to just spread out. And in time, the hope is that by focusing conversations in such a way will help everyone learn from each other and take to PvP a lot more quickly than they would do if they were just if everyone just trying to tackle it by themselves.
Dude, so one of the most important parts of this game, I would say, is going to be onboarding new users.
Yes.
And so getting new people into this is a chore. And
yeah,
even someone who's just mind blown. I've had a lot of people recently just mind blown with the game, and so they really want to jump in. But if you have a life, unlike a bunch of us crazy DJs,
yeah,
right, and you've got wife, kids, work, all this stuff going, getting in here, ooh, it's a beast to actually get in here. So having these tools is a game changer. It's a must. Yeah. And you guys are heroes in this space. And your vision behind this is so when you're talking about giving up, I was like, oh no, hang in there. It's coming. You just wait. I know, like, wealth transfer, the ogre quote. Wealth is transferred to the patient. And I know, so you haven't made any money. I can join the club, baby. No money.
Yeah, no, this
here.
now that I've started paying for the bot for Discord as well, which I think was a little premature, seeing as I'd only had the server live for about 3 minutes. I'm paying about $50 a month for the website, for hosting, for the bot, and for my editing software that I put all the infographics together. The editing software I used to be able to justify a lot more easily because I was really into my photography. I was shooting weddings and portraits and stuff, and so Photoshop it helped with all that. It helped with business, and I was paying off the costs by making money out of doing all of that. I haven't done any of that for a very long time, so now now I just have it for the infographics, and so it's just over the course of a year again it mounts up, but I love it. I love the projects. I love the team. I love everything about DeFi Kingdoms. And so it's just, if $50 a month for me, if I spend $600 a year, it doesn't really matter, because we all know that unequivocally Jewel is going to moon at some point and be worth like roughly $3 million a coin. And so at that point, we'll all be filthy, stupid rich. So, and at that point, I'll be like, $600 a year. That's nothing, is it? I mean, I spend less than that. I spend more than that on toothpicks,
Right.
So it's all temporary, and it's just, and I could be blowing the same amount of money on drugs and hookers. So I'd probably end up paying more actually, or not really, depending on which areas I went to. But so it's not like I'm just paying out money and just like I'm paying for somebody else to be able to use a website. I'm paying for the privilege of being able to engage with the community that I adore, on a project that I respect, for a team that I have the absolute faith in, and it's just and I like that now more so with the Discord, with the expansion of the team. It all seems to be coming together for me now in a way that it hasn't done since I launched the website, and it's just given me so much motivation and enthusiasm, and you can't see it, but the team chat in the Discord is basically just 100 lines of me saying, oh, let's do this, and it's just it's just with the time, because I've got a time difference. Obviously, I'm kind of I'm in the UK, so I'm kind of working a few hours ahead of everyone. So if I wake up at 9 o'clock and I'm like, let's get stuff done, you're like, fuck off, I'm sleeping. And it's just, pardon my language. I am trying to rein that back in. At some point, my 19-month-old little girl is going to start saying some of these words back to me, and if her language is anything as colourful as mine, I will be bitterly disappointed in myself. So let's just, if we just edit the live feeds so that I didn't say that, that would be fine. That's how live feeds work, I think.
No, I think we like it. I think it's good. I think you're good, and it's gonna take this project. It's weird. It's like the heavens above have just given grace to this project by raising up different people doing different things, just volunteer wise. It's going to take all of us to come together to get this done, to really bring adoption into the space. We're all like a team working together here, helping new people come in, helping spread the word. And it's like it's work. It's hard. And I've never seen a project that has a community, right? On so many different levels, like it's like God himself raised up Wowee to help us with PvP. That's his thing. And
he is a gift.
There's all these different people with all these different niches that they do just in pure voluntary work for the community. And it's like, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, not at all.
I really
I love it. It's you've got effectively everyone kind of who buys into DFK, everyone who makes an investment, they have a certain level of responsibility for that investment. It's either the responsibility for themselves to pay enough attention to know what's going on, and you find a lot of negativity coming from people who don't pay attention, who don't know what's going on, and they're just watching charts do this and being like, why are they jumping? And those people are really difficult to kind of argue with, because if you're paying attention, if you know what the project's doing, if you know why there have been delays to certain features, if you know what's going on with the team, who's on it, where they are, what shows, what crypto events they're going to and stuff. If you understand what's going on behind the scenes, you know what's going on. And it's difficult because on the one hand, you're like, well, if you paid attention, you'd know what was going on. There'd be no reason to be kind of alarmed or anything. But at the same time, not everyone has that kind of time. Not everyone can sit down, especially people who are involved in multiple projects. They can't keep hopping through all the discords and stuff. So people like myself who don't have other projects to attend to, who have an obligation to, I have an obligation to my investment in the game, and it's a small investment compared to a lot of people. I joined at the all-time high of 20. In fact, no, I'll tell you what, I joined when Jewel was at 20, and I saw it go up to 22, and I was rubbing my hands together, and I was saying to my wife, said, look, that money that I just borrowed to put into the internet, look at what it's doing now. It's worth more, and it's only been a week. And then a week later, I was just, about that money. So it's Putin's fault. It's because the world's going to war. Don't blame me.
Yeah.
But so it's just about kind of what we do with that kind of responsibility, what we kind of do with that kind of obligation we have to ourselves and to our investment. And I decided at a very early stage that because I was invested in DeFi Kingdoms, that I was going to do my best to support the project. It started off, I was basically kind of taking Q&A from people coming onto the Discord and answering really basic questions when all I had was basic information. Yeah. And then it just kind of grew arms and legs as time went on, and the more I found out about the project, the more I was able to share with people, and then the more I learned, the less it made sense for me to just keep answering people on Discord. I needed to be able to say, actually, no, I've written all that down already. It's on our website. Have a look at it over there. And then, the website started, and this is how I'm making the most of my investment. And I love that I can do it in a community that is such a mutually supportive, unless you go in price discussion, such a mutually supportive, positive group of people.
Unless you're on price discussion,
which is now being called price complaints, which is hilarious. And and my favorite thing was when I saw today somebody complain about the fact that it had been changed to price complaints, and I thought that is this channel in a nutshell.
I just saw that when I went and I posted the video in there. I just saw that change. That's hilarious.
I tell you what, I saw a comment on the screen a little moment ago. I can't remember who it was. The one before that.
Okay.
Yes, Skiller 55. Yes, absolutely. There is definitely a way to make step-by-step infographics for the basics, how to onboard, how to buy in, what to do, methods outside the on-ramp, understanding kind of the difference between, the steps it goes from having money in your wallet, having money in your bank account, to having money in the jeweler. And I've said this in the past. I think it's also in order to onboard your average gamer, it's really important that you kind of teach the whole process. This is how you get in, and this is how you get out. Because otherwise, all you're doing is you're putting money in and it's trapped somewhere because you don't really know what to do with it. And people won't want to do that because I don't want my money trapped somewhere where I don't know what to do with it. So yes, that is definitely 100% on my to-do list, is to create not just an infographic, but part of the website that helps with getting people who are just kind of casual gamers into a crypto gaming environment. And it's just, and part of DFK being so new, and them being entrepreneurs, and they're being kind of really leaders in the space in regards to what they're trying to achieve with this project. It was always going to be a difficult task for them to say, how to do crypto, how to game, sit down at a table, see what happens. So getting the left hand to speak to the right hand, and enjoying DFK in its entirety is the key to the game. Is the key to everything, because people who invest will invest early when the gardens are paying out stupid amounts. But if all they're interested if all they are interested in is the high APRs that gardens give out when realms and LPs launch, they will always leave when that money goes away. They will, because if all they're interested in is their investment, they will leave when the chips are down. Whereas gamers, they'll come in and they'll put their money in, and they'll be like, right, but my money's in there now, but there isn't a game yet, and I hate that. I hate that there isn't a game yet. There is a game, you just need to know how to play it.
Right.
But
yeah.
So it's just about kind of saying to the people that invest, look, you know, you're investing in a game, but unless you take the time to learn about the projects, learn about why tokens are down, why kind of there is a surplus of certain kind of loot items compared to others, and why when you send your heroes out on quest, sometimes it can be really profitable if you do one thing, but not particularly profitable if you do something else. It's about the gameplay, it's about the long term, and it's understanding the vision and the future of the project. So for them, they need to have that kind of awareness of the game side of things, because that's important, because it will determine what happens with the project in the future and how strong the token becomes. Whereas, so yeah, definitely infographics that maybe don't contain quite that many words, because I think I said quite a lot in very quick succession there. But yes, trying to simplify those kind of concepts into graphics is part of my plan. And I'll tell you now that I've not mentioned this to anyone else or in any other situation. I'm actually planning on starting a series of tutorial videos as well.
Ooh.
So
see, I want to. That's my game plan, and it's like Mythic Squad and Brown Gent. A lot of those guys are wanting to do that as well for beginners, guide type stuff. Yeah. Yeah,
but that's just it. Again, and it goes back to everyone's got an opinion. Everyone can do it. I'm not saying that nobody in the space is doing that yet, but in order for me to be able to best relate it to the content I'm producing and talk people through it in terms that, you know, I understand, and I had to learn a lot about crypto, and I'm still pretty, you know, not there with it at this point. But if I can understand it, anyone can understand it. So if I can get my head around something, it will help somebody else who's struggling.
Oh my gosh!
So creating those kind of videos, it's good for it's good that other people are doing it. It's not that they're doing it wrong. It's just that it's about me communicating myself and trying to express my views on getting into the game as effectively as possible. And infographics help people, guides help people. I think that there's a place for videos as well, and it's more about, and it's not about doing things better, and it's not about me kind of doing things the right way. It's about just putting another string in my bow. And it's just putting another tool in the toolbox, you know.
Well, when you can have a centralized spot that everybody can just come to, with like an organized list of how-to videos, that is a game changer. I'll make you content all day long, man, on that.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Ooh. So we got to figure this out. We have to, and we got to do it in a systematic, clean, simple, organized way to, so that new people coming in, gosh, like Jet, I don't know. Did you happen to see the video yesterday? I've
not yet. That's on my Saturday watch list, or I could even watch it. I could even watch it tonight. In fact, it was just a busy couple of days. I saw the link. I was like, I've bookmarked it. I'm going to come back to it, but again, it's just about time management and stuff. So it's one that I will conquer.
2x speed that bad boy right on through. He's doing this TV show, and he's hit me up a couple times like, okay, if I've got 1 hour, what is your number one go-to for if I'm a beginner trying to learn how to get into the game? And so I sent him Sandwich Punch's beginner's guide.
100%.
This is just phenomenal, by the way.
And I'll tell you what I like about his guide as well is the fact that he's actually updated it quite recently as well. Because what a lot of people do is they write articles or they make YouTube videos based on what's happening at the time, and then they just kind of sit there. And the thing is, it's difficult with a video to constantly update it,
right?
Because if they just tweak something a little bit, you're not going to make a whole new video to cover that. But it does change how things work a little bit. And these tweaks eventually add up over time to a point where, a year later, you can take some lessons from some of the older content, but it doesn't really paint the full picture of what's going on at the moment. So the fact that he's taken the time and made the effort to make sure that all the information he's presenting to new players is up to date and consynced and relevant is
my mind is blown.
Is really good.
Because he just put that out there. He's a lawyer, like full time, has his own practice. He's still a knight for DeFi Kingdoms. He cranks this thing out, this full blown beginner's guide, and he's been doing this whole other project for a whole year, Dragon's Crossing project. I'm just like, you guys are legends in the space. Yeah. So organizing all of this, man, this is like phenomenal. Your updated website. This is a game changer. So I sent Jet also.
Yeah.
I'm so glad in my video I did it. If you're new to DeFi Kingdoms, I pointed them first of all to your website. Second of all, the Unity Guild's like mentorship program.
The Discord,
yeah, and so
that's come on a long way as well. Their Discord in the course of a year, because again, like a year ago, it was very much kind of like, again, it was really difficult to try and collate information from all these different sources on the internet. So everyone was saying this, that, and the other, and it was difficult to keep track of. So when people were just trying to say, well, here's the information that everyone's gathered, it was just a jumbled spaghetti mess. But they've put so much effort into making, into unraveling the spaghetti, into organizing their content into logical constructs that people can actually be like, oh, right, that's where I find that. That's how I get that information. That's how I learned that. It's come on. And that's, again, it's a testament to how people will continue to work at the project and continue to honor their responsibility to their investment by channeling that in a way that helps others. So a lot of time for that. Yes, it's amazing. So tell me, right, we've all dealt with, especially those of us that came in when Jewel was up, especially at $20. Come in, Jewel's at $20. Okay, and so that's over a year ago now. You came in. You've been in for like 15 months. So you've been in this thing, you've been grinding, and then you talked about wanting to throw in the towel. The bear market, it's like it wears on our brain. It discourages us. It wears us down. We lose hope. We lose vision. We lose sight of what we want to do. And that's happened to so many of us. Like, and I wrestle with the same thing. Okay. And so discouragement, and it's like, what am I doing? I'm not even getting paid. I'm not making any money. I've got, so tell me about how you've been able to push through that, especially if your wife's, yelling at you, hollering. You got to. Well, it helps that I haven't told her how much money I've put in. So you just man up. You put your foot down. And you be like, "This was how it's going to be in this house." Yeah. Okay. I'll try that. If you don't hear from me again, then. So. I tell you what, there was a film that came out a long time ago. I say a long time ago. It was a long time for me. I'm old as anything now. It's a British film starring Simon Pegg, who a lot of people will know the name of now, but he was a very popular British actor long before he gained international awareness or kind of reputation, fame, if you will. It was called Run, Fat Boy, Run. And I can relate to that film in more ways than one. But in addition to, losing weight, that film was about him having to run a marathon and him deciding that he reached a point in his life where he just wanted to do something. He wanted to achieve something. And I think in the film, somebody bet him that he couldn't do it. So he decided to do it anyway. But the thing about marathon running is that everyone hits a wall. Everyone kind of, they're running their own race. They get to a point where it's clearly not a physical wall, but you reach it, and you're just gonna be like, there's a wall there. Right. And it's not always easy. It's not always easy. Sold the wife. I'd make a fortune. To be fair, she's wonderful. I do her a disservice. It's not always easy how you get through it, because the wall is different for everyone. It's not that everyone's just going to sat around going, oh, the price of my investment has gone down. You know, I don't know what to do. It's different for everyone. It's about their experiences within the project, experience within the community, frustration with how they're channeling their effort. So for me, you know, the website, it was just like, this is just, it just looks garbage now. You know, I don't see the point anymore. And so the wall is different for everyone. So there isn't one way to get through the wall.
Right.
But I think it's you have to be open to the idea that you can get through the wall. And even if you don't know how you're going to climb over or get around it or just fire on through it, even if you don't know the answer, you know that the wall isn't the end. There's something the other side. You just don't know. You just can't see yourself getting there at the moment.
Yep.
So it's not about it's not about approaching the wall with the information or knowledge or experience as to how to get through it already. It's just about being able to reassure yourself that life exists beyond the wall, and that should you find a way through it, you can carry on. And once you've adopted that reality, once you've adopted that realization that life exists beyond the wall, it's not about can I get over the wall, it's how I get over the wall. And so for you, and so for each individual, they have to identify what it is that's stopping them, what obstacle it is that they're facing, why they consider it an obstacle, why it's presenting a difficulty, and then break it down to its component parts and just make the best of it. Just do what you can. And it's not about and it's not like you have to learn how to leap over the wall and just pretend it never existed. It's just you need to understand what you're doing, and I really, and without kind of spiraling any further, it's just about having the faith. And once you've got the faith, anything is possible.
Yeah. And, you know, also, when you focus on and pay close attention to projects, you want to look for teams with the strong core values that are solid. They're grinding through the bear market. They're not money driven. They don't have dollar signs in their eyes looking at the 5 minutes in front of their face.
Yes.
They are grinding. They have the strongest set of core values you could ever hope to find with any crypto project out there. And they have phenomenal partnerships. They have now they're not perfect. Sure. But all these awesome things they're doing left, right, and center. And it's like they're working 7 days a week. They're grinding all the time. And so, and just imagine what they're going through. All the weight is on their shoulders. They carry that. They carry that burden in an empathic kind of way. This team does. And so just imagine what the team go through as far as discouragement.
Yeah.
As far as
absolutely.
So, but nonetheless, what have they only done? They've only formulated a stronger foundation. They've gotten all their shit together more and more and more, you know, because to start something like this is nuts. To actually start a new project, like what I was talking about with these Dragon Crossing guys, like what the hell?
Starting a new project is easy. Deciding that you're going to do something is a piece of cake. If I say like tomorrow I want to learn how to walk around on my hands because walking around on my feet is just too easy and I need a new challenge in my life, I could kind of put my hands on the floor and try throwing my legs up in the air, but I'm going to crack my head. I'm going to end up in A&E. I could start it. Starting's really easy. It's keeping going.
Yeah.
Even when it doesn't happen straight away, when it's not easy and it's not just like picking something up. So what DFK team have done is they've not only have they started a crazy project, a crazy ambitious project. The project itself isn't crazy. It's just the scale is just incomputable at times. But they've kept going and they've kept going and going and going. And even when, you know, people have kind of thrown shade at them because we got through the great fuddening last year. That was a lot of fun.
That's a great
for
term.
Everyone.
The great
fuddening. Yeah. I like that one. But the thing is that was horrendous to go through, not only because there were people who were, you know, saying bad things about the project just, you know, to be malicious, but there were people who then, through inexperience or through lack of attention, were seeing two sides of an argument and not knowing which side to give credence to, not knowing which side was just talking nonsense and which side was kind of being the truth bearers. And unfortunately for DFK, they were always going to be in a difficult position where they had to defend themselves because they were the ones who, they were running the project. So it was always going to be in their best interests to say positive things, which some people say, well, you have to say positive things about it because it's your project and you would say that anyway, regardless of whether it was right or not. Whereas that person doesn't have to say anything negative. Therefore, if they're less motivated, I'm going to take their word for it. So it was difficult because there were so many innocent people who got caught up in all of that, who, in believing the wrong thing, then started disseminating misinformation, not because they were being malicious, but because their understanding of the situation was incorrect.
That's exactly right.
And so it was difficult, and that's the thing. We as a community then started reacting very negatively towards anyone expressing a negative opinion because, we'd been stung. It was like, somebody had come up and punched us, and all of a sudden we were like, we were looking for fists flying everywhere, and we thought everyone was trying to punch us for a while, and it took a bit of healing. It took a bit of kind of time before we started being able to identify actually that person's not just they're not just out to FUD. They're not just out to kind of do the project harm by spreading misinformation. This person genuinely doesn't know what they're talking about.
Right.
And so these people, rather than just be like, and that's what I love about DFK team as well, because they've never been the team that's like, you're saying something bad about the project, go away. They'd be like, actually, I appreciate what you're saying, and I can understand that might be how you feel about the project just now. Let me tell you this. Let me give you this information. Let me give this bit of context that you don't have. And then you can form, and then you can take that and form whatever opinion that you like. But look at this with an open mind and make your own opinions. And so people like Purple Onion, especially, and others within the community, they've always been trying to give people the most positive responses possible, rather than just being quick to shut anybody down. And there was a while there when I'll put my hands up, and I got quite bad at that as well, as I was kind of going through my own personal salty dip. But just
that happens with any team, right? There's little things about the team that might kind of piss you off, but that's what team isn't gonna have that? What team's gonna be perfect out there? Just
absolutely 100%. So I've kind of taken it. Somebody held up a mirror just recently and allowed me to see kind of how potentially how I was being compared to how I used to be or how I should be. And I was like, I didn't really kind of recognize the kind of way I was communicating with people. So I'm trying to sort that out, and I'm trying to double down on giving people the website, expand the team so it's not a vanity project, it's not a guild selling point, even though I do believe that Perilous Pirates is the best guild in DeFi Kingdoms, but I imagine everyone's got an opinion about that, so it's not an opinion I'll labor the point on.
Shout out to the Perilous Pirates, baby.
Yeah, honestly, it's really intelligent people there.
Yeah.
So rather than just make this about kind of me and my experiences, it's back to what it's good at. It's about presenting people with unbiased information and allowing people to learn the game and get into it. And we don't have a lot of players joining at the moment because again, and a lot of people complain about that. So, no, nobody's joining the game. And it's like, well, hold on, because if everyone joined the game at the moment, we'd have to have 100 conversations 100 times a day with 100 people saying, okay, there are projects, there are features coming. It's just, this is what we've got to look forward to. This is what's going to happen next. This is what's going to happen next. If we just wait to onboard people until there's more for people to see, then there'll be less trying to justify our existence when they do show up. But when they do, it's about making sure that they can find the information that they need and really kind of appreciate the project for what it is, for what it can be, as opposed to for what it isn't yet.
Yeah, I mean, this project, there's not too many other projects out there that are this far along. I mean, what they've done, what they've accomplished in a year and a half, mind-blowing. They've got their own blockchain. They've had to move off a completely other chain, all their development, all the stuff they've done. It takes like a couple months solid at least for someone to jump in this game and wrap their mind around everything. Really, it probably takes 3 or 4 months, easy. And so even if they're guided with a mentor to walk them through everything, you know, and I want to tell you something too. What first birthed me was the great funding of DFK, as we called it. That's what, to come to their defense, I couldn't help it. And then especially after the bridge hack, it was like a dying ecosystem, and it's still pretty
times were tough.
It's tough. It still is. But we know that all this stuff is just about to come. And my frustration with the team has always been just simple messaging, jumping in front of so in my mind, if I would have been on the team, I would have jumped right in front of and helped prevent the great funding from even ever happening. And so it's just like little ways of messaging, right? And that's just been, and that's why I started the channel, was to come to their defense. They're doing their best. They're trying, they're doing everything they can, especially in their mind. They're doing everything they possibly can. And it really is the best kept secret of crypto, in my opinion.
And I just want to say, I know you probably hear this all the time, but I do want to take this opportunity to issue you a very sincere thank you for everything that you do and the unparalleled enthusiasm and energy that you bring, because we've got a lot of good content makers out there. We've got Adventures of DeFi Kingdoms, Bogside chats. You've got Sergeant Filthy McNasty doing his videos. You've got Mythic Squad producing some great content, and all of these people are kind of doing some really good stuff. And really, some of them kind of talk about things, and they've got really good insights, and they really help kind of people kind of explore new concepts and ideas, new ways of thinking about stuff. Nobody in this space has as much energy and enthusiasm as you do, and so for you to use what you have, to use your energy and enthusiasm and experience of the project to be such a positive influence, it's wonderful for the project. And again, I know you've heard it before. I've seen other people say it. I've heard other people say it. I know you've been to a couple of events. You've met the team, and you've kind of and they've told you how much they appreciate you. But I wanted to add to that as well. I am sincerely grateful, and I can see how positive. How much of an influence you have on people through your positivity, and that's a wonderful thing as well.
Right back at you. So it's a grind. Hang in there. So I'm hoping that, especially for guys like you, you're paying money out to do this website. You're trying to hire people. You guys are trying to potentially be able to make a living doing this. And so what I'm hoping for to come, where people could, with the jeweler, we put in the jewel, and we might be able to allocate some of that jewel and the interest
through the power up system.
Yes, we might be able to allocate that jewel, where the jewel, you still own the jewel, but the interest goes to someone like DFKchain. And then you have like a subscription where you can now utilize all the resources. You can have like a free spot, free spot of your website, and then also all the other parts that require whatever 200.
So when somebody when that was first raised to me, and somebody first said, that there might be a possibility of having a power up that you can allocate to build partners, to community builders within the games ecosystem, and it wouldn't make anybody rich straight away, but it would be like there would be some kind of trickle down benefit to people, to builders from this particular, and at the time I was like, but nobody's gonna put money to the expert. I mean, if you look at tools. No, well, that's it. Right. So my reasoning, my rationale for that was, you get a tool like, for instance, DFK Analytics. People have to go to that tool to look up what's available in the tavern, what the price is, what the stats are, and the game's now got a lot of the filters that it that we wanted from the game for a long time. But Wegs, he put that all in DFK Analytics a long time ago. We all use that website. It's a phenomenal website, and people use that all the time.
Yeah,
and people have to keep going back to that because it's a tool. My website's a reference point, and so once you learn something, you can move on. And so, and plus, you know, you can't a tool, you can't just copy and paste. You know, you have to use that tool. Whereas, you know, my infographics, for instance, somebody said, why don't you put them behind a paywall? I said, well, I could put 20 infographics behind a paywall, but all it takes is for one subscriber to pay, get access to the infographics, and they could copy and paste them everywhere. Because and so not only can information, the kind of information that I share on the website, be so easily disseminated and shared freely, I believe it should be available to be distributed and disseminated freely. So I'm going to say this now. I can't speak for any of the PvP content because I'm going to leave that to Wowie, and I genuinely mean it. It's his to do with what he likes. But my contributions to the website will never be behind a paywall, because I don't think this is information that people should have to pay for. And I think that trying to charge people for it will only will hurt the project, because people then have to decide whether not only do they have to pay to play the game, but then they have to pay how to learn to play the game, and it's too much to ask of people. It's not fair to ask of people. I didn't pay to learn the information, so I don't think anybody else should either. If somebody wants to, the idea of monetizing some aspect of the website has been raised in the past, and if there is a power up that people can select, like one of their, you know, a group of like 30 siege or whatever to, if they want to do that at some point in the future, if that becomes available, if people want to, I won't say no, of course, but it's not expected of anyone.
Do you have a spot? Oh, right here, tip jar. That's right, I saw that. You've got a tip jar.
You've got a tip jar, yeah. It's I tell you what, see where the wiki list is at the top of the page there. I used to have a tip jar page there. And I mentioned on that there was a tip jar. I was also thinking of doing like a Patreon project for a while, where people could voluntarily kind of offer some very, very small contributions in exchange for literally nothing. And that's where I fell down, because I was like, I don't have anything to offer subscribers that I don't want to give to everybody else for free. That said, if people at some point in the future, if this power up token becomes available, if people want to, it would be flattering, it would be appreciated, but it's not expected of anyone. And people won't have to pay anything in order to see the content. It's just people who want to support, they can. And similarly, there's somebody suggested as well, there's a way of monetizing Discord now. So using the bot that I've paid a subscription towards, people can basically subscribe to my if I set it up, people could subscribe to my Discord, and I could consider giving them things like special roles, access to hidden parts of the Discord, or, you know, advanced information, not advanced information, but like I show them the infographics before I show anybody else. But it's hard to find any kind of real justification for asking that would justify any actual contribution. So it's not something I'm willing to commit to at the moment, but I haven't ruled it out. I'm not trying to make money from the website. I don't need to make the money back from the website to be a happy chappy. It's going to stay live. I'm going to keep paying for it until, you know, I run out of money.
So,
which will probably be the point where I get divorced, because my wife finds out how much money I've put in already.
So you don't plan on ever making any money from this? Like, don't.
Well, right. So right. So I don't want to withhold content on the basis of exchanging content for remuneration.
Okay.
I want everything to be available for free, but I don't think. Especially with bringing other people onto the projects now, such as Wowie and Purple Onion, I have a responsibility to them as well. So I have to explore ways that the site can make money, but I don't want it to be at the cost of having to access information. If there are ways that I can monetize a website, such as through ads or something like that, then I will look to explore that. But I said just recently, I wouldn't even want to even consider doing something like that just now, until I was happier with the amount of information that was on my website, because I've got so much that I want to add to it, because there's so much that I've already kind of in my head committed to doing. If I start saying, yeah, come on, you should subscribe to my website, I'm like, well, the website's kind of at like 20% of where I want it to be at the moment. How can I justify people putting money towards 20% of a project? So no interest in doing that immediately. But I have an obligation to other people now. If I can find ways of monetizing the website or the Discord or the web or the expert project in general, I can do. But again, it will just be a case of as and when that happens.
Yeah, maybe you'll have opportunity to have get a little ad revenue from it for sure. Wowee. Eventually, when Wowee,
I think his content's going to be worth some money, because his is sure. So the thing that Wowee does differently is that he interprets the information in such a unique way, and kind of uses all of experiences in gaming to put everything into context. Yeah. I'm reframing information that I absorb in a way that makes sense, and in a way that I can get my head around. If people commit the same kind of mental resources that I have, they could do the exact same thing. So I'm not doing anything that somebody else with the same amount of time and motivation could achieve themselves. Wowee, on the other hand, his experience and his insight into the project isn't something that you can just pick up and read from going through the docs with a fine-tooth comb. So what he brings is going to be ridiculously valuable.
And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can just be like allocate 100 S Joule, okay, where you still own the S Joule or C Joule.
Yeah. But
the interest being generated goes to your little membership thing. It's not like he's going to make a ton from that, but Yeah.
So having spoken to him about him putting the spreadsheet together that he put together before I started speaking to him, and me kind of going through the putting this website together, I haven't made the website, and I don't think that he's made the spreadsheet to get rich. That's not how that's not how we're going to get. We'll get rich by playing the game, by doing well at the game, by making sensible decisions with our assets, and eventually, again, $3 million Joule. That's when we'll all be rich.
Right.
But everything else is just kind of supporting that end goal. Yes, of course, we should always be kind of mindful of finances and trying to make the best of our opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that you're not money driven, right? It's not like you got dollar signs in your eyes and Wowie's doing this to make a buck, or you're doing this to make a buck. But
I mean, outside of DFK, I work for the government, and I wouldn't do that if I was trying to get rich. Nobody gets rich on a government salary.
Right. So that's what I'm looking for with any project I'm working with, or any business partner, anything. Do they have a why that's driving them? That is like passion. They have a passion. They can't help themselves, and so they did this crazy thing to embark on this journey. That's what Frisky did, and Pieface and Dreamer. I mean, Dreamer left Goldman Sachs because he was just driven by a why to help. I think. I mean, that's my takeaway. Frisky started this thing. He just had a strong why, and so I mean, that's like the number one thing I look for in a project. Number one, right off the top. And that's what I see in the team. And a lot of the people that have stuck around, they made it work. They weren't getting paid, when they were doing it. That's because their why for the project was so strong. Yeah. It's not money first. Money comes later. And it's the same principle with business. That's how it was when I started my insurance company. I had a strong why. It was funny, my why, but I had a strong why too. Because insurance can be such a fiasco. I just wanted to be the best, cheapest spot, where people can come get the best insurance at the best rates, and just but I didn't make money for 3 or 4 years. But guess what? After the 3 or 4 years, it was like a freight train that was hard to get started. But once it was going full speed, look out. It was a windfall. I didn't know what the hell to do with all the money I was making. You know, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Maybe I'll start an insurance company.
Hey, well, but I'm saying that's just a principle you can do with anything.
No, I just like the windfall thing. I want one of those.
I think
No, you put the work in. You put the work in.
That's what I'm saying. You've got it right here. Your website.
Yeah.
It's the same story.
We'll see how it goes.
I lost money for my first 3 years, even though I was top sales guy. I was kicking ass. I was #1 sales guy in the country, and I wasn't making money. Okay, but it's like a slow build, a slow grind. Okay, and I wasn't money focused, just like you. This thing, what a windfall is where you're not even trying to make money with this website. That's not your focus. That's not your goal. But in the right way that fits with your ethos, okay, that opportunity just might come with what you've already done right here. Yes. It is the premier go-to spot for anybody in DFK. There's not anybody that's deep into this game that doesn't like live on this thing. I'm like Mr. DFK guru, like in my mind. I still live on your freaking website in these infographics. So
those I never even planned to make those. They was just because Albus was making infographics when I started making the website, and I think Purple Onion did maybe. She'd been working with Albus. I can't remember her putting out one of her own infographics at that point. But there were people doing that already, and it was just as I was putting the information together, I started harassing him in DM. I started sending Albus a bunch of messages. What if you made an infographic that said this? What if you did it a little bit differently? What if you made an infographic that said this or helped in this way or covered this topic? And he stopped replying to my messages after a while. No, I'm kidding. He was very supportive and very nurturing and acknowledging that the ideas that I had, they had merit and they would help. But due to his circumstances, he wasn't able to make all the infographics I was churning out of my head. So I was like, all right, I'll make one myself then, because I really want to put that one together. And then one turned into 2, and then 2 is now, I don't know, 20 or something.
It's like the go-to spot. But so the infographic spot is the go-to spot, but I'm really loving this guides section. I am.
I tell you, generally, the old version of my website had more. It had a guide to the raffling stuff, the raffles. I had a guide to jewels, and it's all sitting there behind the scenes of this website. I just haven't had a chance to get to them and update them. There's so much stuff that you can't see at the moment. That's there. It's just not quite there yet. And so I'm really excited to be able to bring it back up to feature parity, like they did with Crystalvale, and but have it presented the way that I want, and have up-to-date information as well. Because I mean, the jewels guide, for instance, so it was a really good and thorough jewels guide that went into an awful lot more detail than the one that the team released, and that wasn't because they did anything wrong. It's because they were like, here's the information that you need to go work it out for yourself. Whereas I'm like, here's all the information, all of it. And it's not that my way was the right way and their way was the wrong way. It's just that I needed all of the information to understand it, and so I suspected that some others might, and other people who might not have enough time, as much time as I did to commit to to commit to the project, might not be able to get to that same level of understanding. So it was important that I put that guide up. I haven't updated it for season 2 that we're on at the moment, right? No, season 3 now. They've just had the season 2 rewards come out, haven't they? I won a Greater Wit Crystal. I was so excited. That's the first time I've won anything on a raffle. I was quite pleased with that. Don't get me wrong, I've been fortunate in other ways in the project. I've won a couple of really significant Discord giveaways in the past. I've had my fortune. It was just nice to get one of the raffles as well. But it will. I'll get to it eventually. And now that I don't have to worry about the PvP side of things, and it allowed me to focus on what I can achieve. And again, it's about doing what you can. with the time and resource that you have available. And so I am looking for more people. I don't want to stop at just Wowie and Purple Onion. There are so many other people in the community that can contribute, that I'd like to contribute. So so if anybody else wants to join the team, I'm definitely open to the idea. The doors aren't closed. It's not an exclusive project. I'm not gonna hand the keys to just anybody. I had a couple of DMs on Discord and Twitter, people claiming to be very experienced moderators, and they want to help sell my products to as many people as possible. And I'm like, you don't get this. You're not really paying any attention, are you? Probably just bots or scammers, but yes. But whereas again, I have had a couple of people who was like, actually, you know what, you've got an awful lot of really good insight into this, and and that should be available to everyone, and I'd love to be able to feature this kind of stuff on my website. So the more people, the better. I don't care what guild you're from. I don't care what's happened in the past. I don't care if you don't have a guild. I don't care how long you've been in the projects. As long as you actually have something to offer people, there is a spot for you on this website.
Yeah, baby. Once you do the video section, which I think is brilliant, you just tell me to jump and I'll say how high. Like say, hey, do a video of this, and I'll send you the video, and you can download it and edit it and do whatever the hell you want with that. I'll do that all day long. Man. Yeah,
well, definitely open to some collaborations. I need to focus on the blogging side of things first and get that kind of set up. Then I'm going to buy myself a microphone, so I can record some actual professional grade, high quality audio to go with the video, because the people should have access to good quality content, and people shouldn't have to
these are
listen to a video where people. Yeah, so most of that I kind of wrote for the old website that I've imported onto this one. I used to talk about. I spoke about the crafting. That was my favorite blog that I've written, was the one about crafting, which is now irrelevant because they brought out two new types of crafting. So the some of the assumptions and assertions that I've made are no longer correct, based on the new system that's coming out. But even like the pet feeding thing in the past, what kind of tokens will be used for pet feeding, and it's all about just kind of sharing some thoughts, and a lot of that is just absolute gibberish. So that creating GIFs from, so I made GIFs for all 270 odd pets that came out. I went through them individually. I had my web guy Qatar, who I haven't given a shout out to yet. It's been an hour. I'm sorry, but you've been with me for the longest. I love you. Qatar. He's on my Discord. He was very active a while back. He's now kind of a moderator for Knights and
Peasants.
Knights and Peasant. That's the badge. I was about to say Knights and Merchants, but that's an old PC game that I used to play.
Okay. Wow.
But so he's doing all that now, and that's he's got his own version of the web. He's got his own website for that project and stuff, but he still helps me out. But he's the one who accessed the pet information, like all the data, like the pet families, the different variants, what pool they were from, all the stuff that you can see on the cards and more. He put into one big file for me. He got the sprite sheets, which are like every frame of the animation all together in like one big long line, every frame stood next to each other. And then using this tool that you've got on the screen just now, I created 270 odd GIFs for pets, just so I could put them on the website. So a process I'm really not looking forward to doing again when they release the green pets and the new super odd variants that come out. I'll tell you what. Botting is a whole other kettle of fish that I'm not going to get into today, because that is I could talk for ages on that as well. But I just want to say a big shout out to Weghus again for this particular bot that he's put together. It is. Everyone's going to have their favorites. Everyone's going to be like, I like this bot because of this reason. I like that guy because of this reason. That's who I want to give my money to, and I get that. And it's not always about which one's better. It's just about there being options, and there being good options. And we're fortunate enough that there are a lot of developers within DFK who are putting out some really useful stuff. The thing that I like most about Pirate Quester in particular is that it's a very low one-off payments to get full access to it. There are no tiers. It's not like if you have 3 heroes, you pay this much. If you have 5 heroes, you've got to pay a little bit extra. If you want to do this type of quest, it's a little bit more. It's just, you know what, one-off payment. There you go. Have at it. And
it's a one-time payment to buy the bot.
Yeah, well, right. So the way that one works in particular is you buy a token, an NFT minted on Ethereum, I think, and it costs, or maybe it's on Avalanche because it costs 3 AVAX, so that makes more sense.
Okay,
like I said, I don't really know crypto.
So 3 AVAX, one payment, huh?
Yeah, and that's you can use that for as many heroes as you want per wallet, but it only works in one wallet. If you want another wallet, it's another token.
That's cheap. That's kind of like how the waifu bot works. That's cool, man.
Yeah. So, and there were models of bots that have been around for a little while that it's monthly payments and it's kind of tiered, whereas he's like, well, if I put all the money, if I put all the code in the bot, you might as well have it. But it was a lot of work, so I do, so I'm asking for a little bit of a token payment for using it, a token payment because it's for a token. Yeah, hilarious. But then once you've got that in your wallet, once the bot can see that you've got that token in your wallet, you can use the bot as much as you want, and you're literally just limited by the number of quests you can go on in a day with your heroes. So I've promoted that one first on the website because I love his ethos and the way he's approaching it. Plus, he was in Pirates Guild, so that made speaking to him about it easier. But again, I don't want the website to be exclusive, so I will have a section where I talk about bots, the needs for bots, the advantages that they present, some of the disadvantages, or not disadvantage, but potentially kind of ethical dilemmas of using bots to gain an advantage, because they're effectively like using a cheat code. Let's be honest. So from a gameplay perspective, there are still some question marks and some hang-ups that people have. So I want to cover all of that and have a very balanced argument when it comes to bots, but also say, this is the one that I recommend, but these are other options that are available to you. Because again, it's not about me, it's not about my friends, it's not about one person being better than another. It's just it's a matter of time.
Right. Yeah. And I've actually got a video because I was pushing against, and I was like pushing the team on this too, about how I did a video why bots are good for DeFi Kingdoms community because quest fatigue is real.
Yes.
And so I think the DeFi Kingdoms team, though, I think they're working on a power up that kind of functions similar sort of to a bot, maybe. So
yeah, the author quest, what was it? Because I saw them use the word for it. It's expeditions. That's right.
Expeditions.
I think that's the power up that the working title for the power up that they're talking about, whereby rather than just send a hero off on a quest, you can send a hero off on an expedition, which is effectively the same quest lots and lots of times. I don't know how many times. I don't know what the kind of what the cycle on that will be, but they acknowledge that quest fatigue is a real thing, and they are working towards their own solution for that. And I will probably take advantage of that when it's available, because I love for the projects, and everything's then handled in game, and everything's just kind of neat and tied in a bow. But until that happens, there's the team. There's no real pressure for them to get it out straight away, because there are some very viable options for people to automate their questing. The thing I didn't like about bots, and we're on it now, so I might as well. I'm going to share this quick thought. They're all quick thoughts. It's an hour and a half later. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
So I just had to.
You can share your screen too if you want.
I just had to screenshot that because I've just noticed that introductions written over 2 lines.
Well, here, hang on.
There was a button that you can press that just keeps it all on one. No, it's a formatting issue with it.
Okay.
It's a formatting issue for me.
Okay, I see.
So there's a button whereby if I just change the setting a little bit, if I continue to zoom in, the title will just get smaller and fit into the same amount of space, just so that you don't get that kind of multi-line thing. But that's a technical thing on the website. Botting for me, the problem I had with it was when we had the leaderboards out, and people were using automation of questing and automation of features in order to gain an unfair financial advantage over people. And people who make more money from questing for botting, that's fine, that's up to them. But when you're disadvantaging other people because you're automating 20 heroes collecting things, and you're getting like 500 jewel a day because you've got a bit of code that's doing all the work for you, and you've got people that actually they're like clicking their fingers trying to achieve the same thing. That's unfair, and that's the issue I had with bots.
Yeah,
whereas
that's what the team has said too.
That's why they took the leaderboards down, because there wasn't an obvious solution to preventing that imbalance or that unfair environment for people to operate in. So
it's a good argument. We could have a debate on that. But yeah, it'll be good, I think, if the team adds that as a power up. Yeah, I think that's the solution there, to where we won't even need to debate on it.
Because but we could spend 3 months debating it, and then all of a sudden they'll drop the power up, and it's like, oh well, that's 3 months well spent.
Yeah, right. And so the power up will probably be pretty basic, kind of like you said, but that's awesome. I hope and then what it does is it drives people to buy more heroes instead of get quest fatigue and sell off their heroes.
Yeah.
And then adding it as a power up will also, it's more incentive to buy jewel, baby. So it's just like a win-win-win for everyone when that comes. So I'm hoping that
absolutely
comes. Yeah. So for that person that has, less heroes, but also even having the X-Earn. X-Earn is another one I need to do a video on. And I was talking about getting him on, because that's one where you don't, it's not a bot, but it basically, you submit your hero to them. And I think they keep 25% of the items, but it'll auto quest and auto level for you and everything. That's
so it's the difference between trusting somebody with your assets.
Yep, that's right.
And trusting somebody with access to your wallet that's got the assets in. And fundamentally, there isn't really a huge difference between the two things.
Yeah,
you give a bot access to your wallet that's only got the assets in it that you'd be comfortable losing, because even if somebody doesn't have malicious intent, if something goes wrong that isn't your fault, you've still got to take some responsibility for it, because you decided to give that access or send your heroes to that person or that bot or that kind of organization to do the questing for you.
That's right. I do really think there's a risk any which way you go.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100% true. And it's just trusting somebody in one form or another is the price that you pay for having that kind of the burden of questing lifted. So back when I only had like 4 heroes, I was like, I don't understand why anybody used bots. It's just you log in, you send them off on quests, you collect your quests, and then you go home happy. I don't understand why people are complaining about it. And now I've got a few more heroes. I'm like, I get it now. It makes an awful lot more sense.
Yep, I've got over 1,800 heroes now.
Oh my goodness, man!
Lord,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but I was manually questing all the way up to like 600 heroes, because I'm just sulking in my bed, because I'm your one and only amazing crypto expert that's managed to lose all of his money, over $2 million in crypto alone over the last year. So I'm sulking in bed and just questing my heroes all day long. And it got to where even at just literally 15 hours a day doing nothing but questing heroes, I couldn't. It was like, still couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
Nuts. Okay, man. Anything else? Should we wrap it up? What do you think?
I'll tell you what, I think I've spoken for long enough. I think that people are probably keen to. They're probably used to hearing more from you and less from their guests. I've sat down. I'm on a new form of. I've just started taking some new medication, and it's like I'm basically my brain is in hyperactivity mode most of the time at the moment. So I've babbled like I've never babbled before on a live stream. So I think we should definitely try to spare people any further, because I will talk for hours. I will talk for hours. I'll probably talk for hours whether you stop the stream or not. It's just, you know.
You found the right channel then. I mean,
Yeah.
we come on here, we'll go for 7 hours. One time we went for almost 7 hours on one stream.
Yeah, genuine, and I could see why, because it's the kind of project that has enough depth and complexity to warrant that level of conversation, which is another reason why I love it. You can't sum it up in a post, or a single post, or a single conversation, or a single graphic or video. It's just something that just you could talk about till the cows come home, and that's before PvP comes out, before equipment, crafting, travel, land, buildings, and it's just I'm just looking forward to all of it. But if you imagine kind of how much we can already say about the project, given what that is available, because I don't think they'll ever be finished the game in so much as they reach a point where they look back and say, there's nothing more to add to this. I think they'll accomplish all their goals. They'll release the content that they want, but I think that they will just continue adding to it. But when they've got those key core components in place, I think that it's just going to be just absolutely just unlike anything that we've ever seen before, and it's really exciting to be part of that.
Oh my gosh, I'm like, we're going to be throwing parties on here, but I just caught a vision of something. See, you can come on here and you can come be you can just come be your full self. We could get some spicy debates, baby. I'm sure we could figure out, we could go through it. We could debate on botting. We could debate on how to best level your hero. We could debate on all this stuff. And you could come and bring your British little stuff on here. And you could just let her rip, baby, for hours. We'd have woo!
I think I've got a bit of I think I owe people a bit more positivity than I've necessarily been bringing lately for a while at least. But I think we'll probably get to a point where
it sounds like you crossed the line or something. What did you do?
It's just it's no one thing. There's no one thing that I did. It's just my attitude towards my relationship with the project changed, and it affected the way I was communicating with people. Not everyone, but just certain people. And it was just and there were things going on. It wasn't just DFK. It was just there was things going on outside, because real life exists as well. And it was just I think kind of I've maybe rubbed a couple of people up the wrong way lately in the way that I've conducted myself, communicated myself. So again, I do have a bit of making up to do. Into I owe the project some positivity that I've not been delivering.
Okay, and now it just hit me. You were on there wanting the team to apologize, about something, or I remember, or something. That's the only thing I remember. But you weren't. I didn't see anything way out of line.
No. But it wasn't about being. It wasn't about. It's not like I committed any particular crimes. It's just I was just. I could have been more positive about things than I was. And you. It wasn't the example I was speaking about. It was. I think it was. There was one issue when. I think that it was something to maybe to do with the reroll or something. Or like the tainted genes. Maybe. And.
Or no, the API issues. The API issues. That's, remember on the
jewels.
Yeah, for the difference between Serendale, for the duels, Serendale, Crystalvale.
So that for me wasn't so much about them making a mistake. I just felt stupid because I'd read the thing that was on the user interface, and I'd told other people, said, look, as a strategy, you could duel to your heart's content on Crystalvale, and then send your heroes to Serendale and get that extra week. Because again, I'm not the most savvy of crypto minds. I didn't look at the blockchain for the information. I looked at the game for the information. I'm come from a gaming background, not a finance background. So when the game said this is how long you've got, that's I just took that as gospel. And so for me, it was very hard to. Again, it's the whole kind of gamer versus crypto personality. It was very hard for me to see the other side of that coin. So, but again, it was just something that, you know, I kind of raised an issue with out loud, but I then resolved the issue by speaking to people, not offline because everything's online, but, you know, just privately.
Well,
so,
and what happens? This has happened to a lot in the project. A lot of the OGs that's been in the project for a long time. And it even happens to me. Sometimes you just got to step back because we are so deep. We are like our blood, sweat, and tears. Our souls are invested into this project, right?
Yeah.
And so when we're so involved, there's those little things that rub us the wrong way, like based off our personality. And so when we're so inundated in the ecosystem, you know, sometimes it is good to take a step back and see the bigger picture, because those little things can piss you off. I remember Theonopolis with DFK. Okay, he was in here in the channel saying, you know, and Theonopolis is a great dude, you know, for the project, but he was saying the team doesn't listen to feedback at all. They have no ability at all whatsoever to listen to community feedback at all, and he's saying they develop too slow, and that's just because he's so inundated, right, in the ecosystem, all of his blood, sweat, and tears. And it's like, wait, just take a step back, okay, and get a bigger picture of all the other crypto projects out there, and then compare those to DFK. They listen to community better than any other project that I've ever seen in crypto. They develop faster, believe it or not, than any other project I've ever seen in crypto. So breathe. Take a step back. Like I have to do that. They communicate better than almost any other project I've ever seen in crypto. But what's my thing that pisses me off? Their messaging and communication. But still, even with that being said, they're still better than almost any crypto project you'll ever come across.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I think kind of it's sometimes when you're in a negative headspace, it's too easy to focus on the negatives. And it's easier to pick faults than it is to be part of the solution. And it definitely takes more effort, and it takes more patience, and it takes more understanding, because you're dealing with so many people who have vastly different experiences, but they've all come together. They're all interacting with the same information, the same basic information. You know, Jules doing this, Jade's doing that.
Right.
And it's just, but you've got to be you have to show them that patience. And sometimes when you don't have any of your own, it's harder to achieve.
That's right. And the bear market does that to you too. It's part of the bear market. Like if Jules pumping, man, it literally changes the endorphins in your brain. It's like, so it's wild how that works.
Yeah, because I mean, you've got a lot of people at the moment complaining, for instance, about the price of Jade, and they're saying, well, why is Jade worth so much less than Crystal? Serendale's a dead project. I don't know why we went to Klaytn. And you get these complaints, and these people kind of venturing these opinions, and it's not because they're fundamentally wrong or bad people. They're seeing things and they don't know what to make of them, and they're assuming the worst.
Right.
So the price of Jade's gone down because the amount of activity on Serendale's gone down, and the amount of activity on Serendale's gone down because the price of Klaytn's native coin KLAY has gone up, making questing more expensive. And if people aren't questing on Serendale, they're going to quest on Crystalvale. And if they're moving all their assets back to Crystalvale, that's where their investments are going to be. They're going to put all of their heroes, all of their their inventory items, the bulk of their jewel, and everything's going on to Crystalvale. And because people have taken money out of Jade in reaction to KLAY being more expensive, the value of Jade has gone down because fewer people want it. But it's certainly not a dead realm. It's got so much going for it, especially with Jade being lower. You can summon on Serendale for significantly cheaper than you can do on Crystalvale. You can hatch pets for a lot less than you can do on Crystalvale. And if you've got locked Jade or money in the gardens, you can still make money questing. And it's not so much that people are losing money on Serendale. It's that Crystalvale currently is more viable because it's more profitable, but people get more back from the money. We still need some people to take on for the team and get some Cliff Thistle.
Yeah. Also, though, on top of that, we've got 125 million crystal that's about to get dumped, whereas the 125 million Jade has already begun.
Yeah,
day one. That the jewel tokenomics change. Okay, and that's what this part of these big delays have been part of, they had to redo the subnet somehow from Avalanche, and now that's coming. So what do you think is going to happen? We were debating a little bit. Do we think Jade is going to come up to Crystal-ish? Not all the way.
So I don't think so. I think that because again, regardless of what Crystal is doing, people work. The cost of gas on Klaytn will still mean that questing is more profitable on Crystalvale. So I don't think anyone's going to. And so I don't think anyone's going to go suddenly back to Serendale just because the value of Crystal.
Well, but everybody's summoning and hatching eggs on Serendale. Still, I mean, the jeweler is doing.
Yeah, so no one's going to abandon. People aren't abandoning Serendale. They're just being more selective as to which realm they take specific actions in. But until more of the game comes out, or I know there's like a gas rebate thing that people are talking about from Klaytn. That's gonna have that's something that's not something that gets directly passed on to the end user, to us. That's something that they have to work out with Kingdom Studios, and then once that's established, at that point we'll then start seeing the benefits of that gas rebate system. So that will help with profitability questing on Serendale. I think the next tier of questing, the level 10 profession quests, means that if people are getting more from their quests, they'd be more inclined to, especially foraging with the Swift Thistle being the primary fueler for stand potions now. It used to be milkweed. Everyone used to go mental for milkweed back when gardening wasn't as much of a thing, and that was sky high. Now it's Swift Thistle because nobody's questing on Serendale. So I think that as more gets added to the game, there'll be more reasons to play there. When the gas rebate comes in, it'll be more viable to quest there. I don't think there's any reason for anyone to panic about token prices just now. All you do is you make the best decisions based on the prices that are available to you. Heroes being cheaper, buy more of them. That's just that's all there is to it. If you want to make money from the game, you have to maximize your assets and maximize the return from them. And that's not because one realm's rubbish and the other realm's not. It's because they both have different strengths and weaknesses, and knowing how to navigate between them will mean that you get the best of both worlds. So it doesn't matter that Jade's down just now. It doesn't matter that Crystal isn't worth as much as it was 6 months ago. It doesn't matter that a bunch of crystals about to be added to the ecosystem. It's not going to be like 125 million available. There's still going to be parts that are locked, vested, and all the rest of it, and like an unlock schedule. Yeah, so that would be a very gradual effect anyway.
Yes,
there is still some to come back from. Yeah, there is still some to come back from Serendale, and some of that will be liquid. Some of that will be available to claim immediately. So we might see a temporary drop in the value of the crystal token, but I don't care. That just means I'll buy more of them. That's all it is.
So the sentiment is so down in the ecosystem because we're all a bunch of beaten and battered and bruised DFKers here, faithful DFKers hanging in there because of the delays. Okay, and the delays kept coming. Klaytn did open up a few headaches that they're working through, but they've been a great partner. And so as the sentiment goes back up, when the green egg hatching comes, when pet utility comes, okay, when PvP comes, which
that's gonna be a lot of work for me.
The testnet, baby, the testnet is coming. I think real soon, where we're going to be able to test it out and play. We'll even be able to actually play. Okay, so I think real soon, real soon.
Yeah, because they've just put that tweet out as well. They were looking for the community to offer them feedback as to whether they want to play the PvP side of things, or not necessarily play, but be involved in the gameplay aspect of PvP in exchange for offering constructive feedback and guidance as to how certain things were received, and forming the way that how forming PvP as it's developed. And I don't think that they were actually in any seriousness expecting people to turn around and say, "Now we'll wait."
Well,
I think 12% of people in the poll did, and you got to think
it's like
you're doing that ironically. You were voting ironically. You don't mean that,
right? Right.
But at the same time, it's just, you know, I think the project kind of covering themselves a little bit, saying we want people to be involved, but we need them to understand that it's not, this isn't PvP. This is where we are in the development of PvP at the moment.
Right.
And it's just about expectation management and making sure that people don't get too carried away. They don't just see something and be like, nah, rubbish, I'm out. It's because it's not. That's just, in fact, if you form an opinion or something, express that opinion. Say, you know, why you think that, what you think could be done better, and the thing is, this team, they will listen. They take feedback on board. They process it. They don't just kind of put it in like a little waste paper bin and say thanks, you know, thanks for offering your thoughts. They actually take stuff on board, and you know, to open the doors and let the vast majority of people in on that process is again a testament to how committed to the community that they actually are, and how much they value the community, and acknowledge that the community has a lot to offer them in terms of you know, where this the PvP especially is going.
For real. I was just there at Wisdom Gaming. I got to test it out. I got to play it.
Nice.
I can't wait. I can't wait. And so Workhorse is so nervous, though, that this could go out and then people could say, this game sucks, right? So they're just really trying to be careful. I'll just tell you, I thought it was awesome. Okay, so it'll be so fun to get in there, play, try it out, get, you know, find all the bugs, work out all the kinks, you know, get it all balanced, break the game a little bit.
And I really think that's important as well, that they're doing it that way around, because that you see so many other projects at the moment, especially where they claim to have a game available on launch, and they make that their big feature. Hey, we're going to have a game available at launch. And then you look at the game and it's shit. And it's like, well, yeah, you do have a game, but it's not really something to brag about.
That's right.
So, you know, making sure you take the time to create something that people can actually enjoy, rather than just advertise on a technicality, is another way that I think DFK team are doing things absolutely right.
Yes. Amen. A to the men. Man, we need to do this again. Ooh, we could have some fiery, awesome shows.
Yes, we could.
Yeah, we could.
I think it would have happened sooner. I think were it not for the time difference. I often feel pretty left out, kind of waking up and finding everyone's having fun at like what is 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning my time. And the thing is, last year I was keeping East Coast sleeping hours. I was, you know, so I was up till 4 or 5 in the morning for me, which for everybody else is like 11 o'clock midnight, and they're like, this isn't late, what's wrong with you? I was like, I'm fucking tired, man. So you know, so it has been a little bit harder for me to stay on top of things. Like there have been some community developments that I've missed just because I can't keep up with stuff. It's harder for me to keep up with stuff being at a disadvantage based on my time zone. So I think it would have happened. And I'm grateful that you've kind of come on this early with me. And so, you know, it's
I could come on 4 hours sooner if need be or something. Sure. The later, the better always for me, but because I'm a night owl, I'm up all night. Yeah. You know, I could even be real late at night, which is probably your early morning. Stuff like that too. So,
sometimes now I'm waking up at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and there are people, you know, people like yourself who are still awake, still chatting away in Discord. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, I was there last year. I was doing that last year. This isn't
right.
And it's just, and I think that kind of a lot of the unhealthy sleeping patterns I was keeping was, you know, went an awful long way towards kind of sending me on a pretty difficult spiral of kind of trying to keep up with everything that I wanted to keep up with, but also then remembering that actually life exists outside of Defi Kingdoms and DeFi Kingdoms. I've always called it Defi Kingdoms. I know it's DeFi Kingdoms. I know it's DeFi Kingdoms, but it's just. But for me, again, as a gamer, before I knew anything about crypto, that's just how I saw it written down. I was like, that looks like Defi Kingdoms. And before I learned it was decentralized finance kingdoms, it was like, it's just Defi Kingdoms. And I still, and sometimes if I'm paying attention, I can catch myself and say the right thing the first time. But
I love it.
I mean, just
stay the same. Don't even change it. Defi Kingdoms here in Britain, by the way.
Yeah, so that's what I should have said. That's just how the British pronounce it. I could have gotten away with that on a technicality. But no, even my wife, she says to me, "So how's Defi Kingdoms doing?" I'm like, well, yeah. How many heroes have we got now? Don't ask. Don't ask. How many pets have you got? You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Yeah.
If I talk to you enough, I'll start imitating the accent. I love it. But I link it together too much to the Aussie accent. That'll take a while for my brain. Be like, hey, mate.
Yeah. Oh, truth, buddy. I'll stick another saucy on the barbie. I can't do an Australian accent. I don't know why I even tried. That's embarrassing. It was embarrassing for everybody listening as well. I apologize. I won't do that again.
I love you guys. Yeah, baby. Oh, okay, man. Well,
cool. Yeah. Look, but thanks ever so much for having me on. Genuinely, it's been great to have a conversation with somebody, like a voice conversation with somebody about Defi Kingdoms, because again, the people in my life who know about it are the people who I really don't have to explain myself to. So I tend to I swerve the subject a lot. So
you can swear all you want. You're good. This isn't a PG channel all the time. I love it. So hey, you're a legend for DeFi Kingdoms.
Well,
you're a legend in the space. We all love you. Let's give Stronghold some shout outs in the chat. We love you, man. Keep up the good work. Keep it up with Purple Onion, baby, with Wowie. Keep up the good work. We love you.
Qatar. I didn't mention him. I didn't mention him enough or soon enough, but Qatar as well, cornerstone. Genuinely, there wouldn't be a project without him because he's seen me through some real kind of big challenges that I've faced, and I know I didn't say.
He's put up with your snobbiness a little bit.
He has actually more so than most. In fact, I went through a period of firing him just randomly, just in a day, just like Qatar, you're fired. I felt like Donald Trump. This is back when Jewel was, worth more. And I felt like I was like hosting my own apprentice, and he was the only contestant. And then, I'd be like, just like, hey, you're fired. And then he'd be like, yeah, but who are you going to get to do your website? So all right, you're hired again. But yeah, I didn't make a big enough deal about him, but he is very important to the project.
I love you, man. Keep it up. Hang in there. Yes, keep it up, please. You are a big part of the backbone of the whole ecosystem. We love you.
Thank you. Well, straight back at you, man. Genuinely, it's nice to have this heart to heart with you, and somebody who genuinely loves the game and is genuinely positive about everything, and kind of it's contagious.
Hey, guys like me, I'm just like a tick on your rear end. I'm gonna
go around tomorrow saying "yeah, baby" to everyone I see. I'm actually staying home tomorrow, so I shouldn't upset too many people. But I'm gonna say it to my kid a lot as well. I'll be like, "Yeah, baby," and she's like, "Yeah, I am a baby. What of it?" And I'll be like, "Wow, that's really advanced for an 18-month-old."
What of it?
Yeah. All right, take care of yourself, and I will darken your doorstep again soon. I promise.
Okay, hang in there, man.
Yeah,
hang in there. Love you. Crypto Peace. Grady and Stronghold out. We love you guys. DFK community. Hang in there. I know it's hard. We're beaten and battered and bruised. We've all lost all our money because we're a bunch of degens getting in this game. Hang in there. So much is coming. So much is coming. It's mind-blowing what is coming to this ecosystem. The day will come when a whole bunch of new players start flocking into this game. It's coming. Hang in there. Hold tight. Love you, DFK community. Love you.
Oh, there's comments up on the screen here.
Huh?
You've got comments up on the. I've just noticed there's a comment up in the bottom of this. Have they been coming up the entire time?
Yeah, I click on it. So if you look at your upper right-hand corner, you got private chat and then comments. Click on comments. You can see everybody's.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah. I almost told you that earlier. I should have.
Oh shit! There's a lot. Oh my god! There's a lot of people I've been ignoring.
Yeah.
I will click
on them.
Right.
And I don't think you can, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I tell you what. I'll keep that in mind for next time, and I'll be much less ignorant. People are like, he's not answering me. I keep tagging him. I keep saying all these nice things about him, and he just keeps blanking all of us. Yeah, no, that was. All right, that was me. That was my bad.
I was pretty good at staying on it. Pretty good. I get distracted, get behind.
You're used to this. You're all over this. This is this is good. It's good experience for me. As always, we'll do
StreamYard is what most everybody uses nowadays. It's so easy. And yeah. Okay, dude. Cool. Stronghold, much love. Mucho phileo. Mucho agape. I love you, man. We will see you guys.
Mucho wordo.
Mucho wordo.